Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are going to be showcasing the new SR More is Better Ochako or Uraraka, who came out alongside Vigilante Deku, and this is an SR that you might not want to pass up. She is actually very good for VE Tower. I personally am going to be leveling her up more. Right now she is level 75. I don't have any of her advanced leveling done, but I will be working on her advanced leveling over time. I just kind of work on SRs over time as I go, as opposed to URs who I want to get done, you know, right then and there. As for her ability board, her basic route is all the way up to board 10, so that shows you that I have put a decent amount of investment into her to get her all the way up to board 10. I eventually want to get her skill improvements on here on board 10 and also on board 12 here, but that'll take me a little bit to get there because I am still working on other UR characters. And then for her peace route, I have her up to the first unlock level limit. I would like to get her a little bit higher, but then the DX piece route, I actually pulled enough copies of her to have the DX piece route completely done for this Uraraka. So if I was able to get the pieces for her, I just don't have enough stars right now, but if I was able to get enough pieces for her, I'd be able to fully DX her. And this is a character it might actually be worth DXing because she is as good as I'm telling you guys. So let's take a look at her kit and see what she can do. Her plus ultra move is called Wire Blow, deals 450% damage to a single opponent. Shortens character's action skill cooldown time by 1, which is great because she has 5-turn cooldowns, so shortening that by 1 makes it a 4-turn cooldown. It's actually less than that when we get down to her auto skill. Also increases skill impact by 20% if the opponent is affected by speed down. Her first action skill is called Gunhead Martial Arts, gives character the ability to nullify normal attacks and the ability to counter for 3 turns. Any character that can counter is still decent because that gives you just an extra chance to land a critical hit if the enemy attacks you. So that instead of getting like the 1 critical hit from your normal attack, you're now getting 2 critical hits potentially if you counter and then normal attack the enemy. Increases character's skill impact by 25% for 3 turns. Also increases character's plus ultra gauge by 15%. We love it when characters increase their own plus ultra gauge because then you just put an EX skill on them that increases their plus ultra gauge as well, plus a memory that increases plus ultra gauge, and you can have a plus ultra potentially turn 1 or 2 if you have a character like this, so that's really good. Increases character's plus ultra gauge by 15% when used in a successfully executed skill chain. Makes it even better because now it becomes a technical hit as well. So this move is really good because it gives her plus ultra and it gives her a technical hit at the same time, and it has a cooldown time of 4 if you plus ultra right after this, or technically potentially even a cooldown time of 3 because of her auto skill below, which makes her very good. And then her second action skill, Zero Satellites, deals 250% damage to a single opponent, decreases the opponent's speed by 15% for 3 turns. Whenever you affect the opponent's stats like that, that is considered a technical hit, so that's another technical hit move. Decreases the opponent's critical hit rate by 25% for 3 turns, and then skill impact is increased by 30% if the opponent is a villain. Even better, so she's going to do more damage as an SR character and she'll be basically even more viable against villains. She's viable in any VE tower against any opponent. Right now we're going to be taking on the robot from the flame stage on the 2nd floor, so obviously not a villain. We won't get that extra 30% skill impact, but she's still going to perform fine, but she'll just perform even better when you are going against a villain. And then for the first auto skill, to protect your smile, increases max HP of all of their allies that are heroes by 20%. We are going to be running heroes alongside her, so they will get an increased 20% max HP, which just helps give you a little bit more survivability in VE Tower. So that's also good. It's not like anything, it doesn't hurt us, it doesn't help us a whole lot, it helps us a little bit. Like it's just okay, right? The second auto skill though, here's a big thing. You got to do something every 3 turns. Shortens character's action skill cooldown time by 1 and increases the plus ultra gauge of all allies by 9% up to 3 times. Now that 9% might not seem like a lot, but it can actually make the difference on whether you are getting extra plus ultras or not. So that is really nice as well when it comes to VE Tower. Anytime you get plus ultra gauge for all allies, even if it's just 9%, it can be useful and it can be good. So with all that said, here is the team I'm going to be running. I am running a couple of plus ultra up memories on all of these characters so that I can have my plus ultras turn 2, and we're going to hop in and see how it goes. All right, so versus the Robo Inferno, as we get into this, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using Gunhead Martial Arts because this gives her the counter. It also raises her plus ultra gauge, and it also counts as a technical hit if I use it successfully in a skill chain. Now, this is a counter, and if you've ever used counters before in the game, you know that they go faster than normal action skills when you have to tap them. And with the lag that's been going on lately, I hope I'm able to hit all my skill chains, so it does make it a little bit risky. And I believe that lag, my guess would be, you know, is probably just from the influx of players, their servers not being able to handle it. We'll see what ends up happening if they patch it or whatnot, but that is kind of annoying when you're trying to land your skill chains, especially in VE Tower, that you might experience some lag. So that's the only answer I can come up with for you guys. I've seen a couple of people comment about it, ask about it. Yes, I've experienced it. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know if they're going to patch it. I just don't know. But hopefully, you know, the devs seem to have been on top of everything else, so they're probably on top of this as well. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Ice Fog, and then we are going to use actually, let's use this one. I think it's a lower cooldown. Yeah, we'll use Binding Kick, and it can land a bullseye if opponent's speed is decreased and their power is decreased, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then let's take a look right here at our characters really quickly. They should have max HP up. You can see Todoroki has a max HP up of 48%, and Zero should have a max HP up as well. He has the max HP up of 20% from Uraraka, so that's just going to help their survivability. And then Uraraka also actually gives herself max HP up. It does not exclude her own character, which is nice as well. So we're going to be using these. I'm going to try not to miss the tap on Uraraka. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to slow it down to ×2. That way I don't miss the tap on Uraraka. And the nice thing about Uraraka's skill is it does not have to be used in a second or later successfully executed skill chain. You can use it in the first skill chain and it'll still work fine. So we're going to go ahead and do hers first. Perfect. Didn't miss that tap. And it's probably better that I slowed it down because of the lag like that has been going on in the game recently. And we'll go ahead and speed it back up here. Come on. There we go. And then we got the counter right there. So you saw the extra critical hit that we're getting right there from the counter. We have all of our plus ultras on turn 2, which is really nice. And that works really, really well for this stage. So we're going to go ahead and use our plus ultras. And then, so having a plus ultra turn 2 is really cool because it's going to shorten her action skill cooldown time. So it was originally a 5-turn cooldown. Now after this plus ultra, it becomes a 4-turn cooldown. And then next turn is turn 3. It becomes a 3-turn cooldown because on the 3rd turn, her auto skill kicks in and lowers her action skill cooldown time again. So that's really, really cool that you're able to plus ultra turn 2 and lower her action skill cooldown time. It's almost better to plus ultra turn 2 and lower her action skill cooldown time. All right, let's go ahead and use our plus ultras. See if Zero gets a bind here. He does. Nice. So that's a status element. We got the defense down. And there's the lovely lag experience. So now you guys can see it firsthand. Yes, I do experience the lag that you guys have been seeing. All right, and we'll go ahead and use Zero Satellites next. Decreases the opponent's speed by 15% for 3 turns, decreases their critical hit rate by 25%. This guy just has massive debuffs on him from Zero and Uraraka together. Like, his speed should be just down in the hole. Yeah, power down, speed down, just so much. He's bound on top of that, defense down. We have a lot of negative effects on him. So let's go ahead and use our action skills. She's doing actually pretty decent damage too when you consider the fact that she's not type advantaged like Zero and Todoroki are. So the fact that she's doing the amount of damage she's doing is actually really good. We'll go ahead and just use this 1 plus ultra, and then we'll use all 3 action skills next turn. This isn't necessarily the most ideal, you know, VE Tower team, okay? So just keep that in mind, but we will get it done in a decent amount of turns, maybe not with the most crits, maybe not with the most status ailments, but the whole purpose of this was just to show you kind of how Uraraka's kit works and how her technicals are and stuff like that and how good she is. And she is very, very good. The one thing she does lack though is she lacks status elements, so you do need characters who can do status elements next to her, and she also lacks crit. She doesn't give herself crit, so you need a character like Todoroki who gives her crit. So it does make her a little bit more situational when it comes to putting her on a VE Tower team. Makes her a little bit harder to use because she does lack crit and because she does lack status elements, but she makes up for that with her technical hits and with her plus ultra gauge raise for herself and the team. All right, so let's go ahead and we're just going to repeat our action skill order from turn 1 here. and hopefully he'll target us and we'll get another counter in and additional critical hit. That's like the biggest thing that she's good for, in my opinion. I'm so glad I'm on times 2 because if I wasn't, I'd probably miss the skill chains, but there we go. The boss is dead. Let's see how many critical hits we got, how many turns it took us and stuff like that, how many technicals we got with these characters on our team. So this was a 5-turn clear. We did it with 21 crits, so that's really good. We did it with 11 technicals, is really good. We did it with 4 plus ultra moves. It would have been better if we had a 5th plus ultra move. If the turn where Todoroki had the plus ultra by himself, we had an additional plus ultra that turn, would have been better, right? But 4 plus ultra moves is not terrible. And then the bad part is only 2 status elements because Todoroki didn't hit his frostbites. If Todoroki had hit his frostbites, and Zero did hit his binds, but if Todoroki had hit his frostbites, we would have actually had our status elements. And then a 9 skill chain, we were 1 skill chain short, but not terrible for a 5-turn clear. So you can see Uraraka does fit onto this team somewhat well. And I know a lot of people don't use Zero because he's hard to use in VE Tower. So I found this team very interesting to use. I thought it was cool to showcase for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you liked what Uraraka can do. I like what she can do. I think she is going to be hard to fit into some teams, but I think if you can fit her into certain teams, she can be a very good unit for VE Tower. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.